Hey, everybody. How do you turn prospects into customers and become aware of the number one fear that all of your customers have? Ideally, you'll get your prospects to become the kind of customers that you retain for a long period of time and can hopefully even use for future marketing campaigns and testimonies, right? Your your marketing efforts help you to identify leads and gain prospects, but if you can't figure out how to turn those prospects into customers, there will be a challenge. To do this, you need to make sure that when you're talking with them that you're inviting and informative and enjoyable. All of that's absolutely true. And yet, at one point or another, many of us have done business with people we didn't want to do business with. And it really came down to one primary fear that almost all customers have. In fact, I would argue all your customers have. The number one fear that almost every new customer has is the dreaded buyer's remorse, right? That feeling you have when you buy it, and the moment that you own it, you think to yourself, what did I just do? This, uh, this is never going to live up to its expectations. When I was a kid, my parents and I were on vacation together, and we're on a river boat at one point, one of the big paddle boats. We're out on this big paddle boat, and in the gift shop, they had a pair of sunglasses that folded up into a little pouch, right? And they're charging 700 times more than those things were worth. But I really wanted those. I really wanted those. So I asked my parents if I could get them, and they said no, because they had a bit of a financial mind. And so we leave. And I sneaked back over there, told him I had to go to the bathroom or something. I don't remember now. I remember I sneaked back over there and I had cash and I bought those sunglasses. So I go back out to the deck where everybody is sitting, and I pull those things out and I full unfold them and I put them on, and I feel like a big man all of a sudden. I feel like a big man. I get that look from my parents, and it was one of those moments where they know, and I'm still feeling pretty good about it. And they even asked, one of them even made the comment, like, you went back and bought that. Well, yeah, I had my own money, and we kind of go through this, and I'm waiting to get in trouble for it. And I remember it being one of those moments where my parents didn't get upset with me about it. They just kind of quietly let it go. Within a few minutes, within a few minutes, I'm taking them off and folding them up and pulling them out, taking them up, folding them up, going through this, and I bend them and I broke them in a day. Right? There was almost this there was this immediate sort of buyer's remorse as they were bending and they weren't working, and then you're trying to fix them to get them back to working because I got to prove to my parents this was a wise investment, and it just flat wasn't. This is tremendous buyer's remorse that still bothers me to this day. Right? So the biggest fear your customers have over everything else is buyer's remorse. Part of our goal is to help them avoid at all cost that feeling. And this is true because I talk to a lot of ministers as well. This is true both in church and in business. That in church and in business, buyer's remorse is there. In church world, someone decides to become committed to the church, they decide to become committed to God, and then they find that something didn't work out quite the way they were promised. Because that's what buyer's remorse ultimately is. It's when the product, I know that sounds weird to say if we're talking about God, but stay with me for a second. The product or the service does not deliver on the marketing claims. You made promises to your customers. You made promises to your congregation. You made promises to people. And if their experience doesn't see that promise lived out, buyer's remorse and a lack of trust sets in very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. So, how do we move through the concept of buyer's remorse for someone and give them a sense of confidence? I'm going to share with you 14 different ways to do this. Obviously, if you're watching this on Instagram or some other format, there's going to be a lot of these. So, these kind of offers will help back down that buyer's remorse just by showing that you can be trusted. Number one, Offer a special price or opportunity so they can test the product. Offer a special opportunity to test the product. If you talk to me about coaching for your small business, and my offer is always the same, you give me 45 minutes, I'll find $100,000 of additional profit in your company without spending any more money on marketing. So if we have that conversation and I get done with it, the next offer I'm going to make is, will you, if you're interested in having my help with this, let me coach you for free for 2, 3, 4 weeks to see if it works. Then we'll talk about whether you want this long term, right? It's a special price. It's an opportunity to test it. Second option, humanize yourself. Here's what I mean. On occasion, when you're working with a client and you know that that buyer's remorse may be there, one thing you can offer them is potentially a lower price or a different deal because of something that you have personally in your life, right? I'm going to lower this price because I've got a tax bill coming up. My kids are about to get braces. College is showing up, and I really just need a little more to help move that. I'd rather have a little bit than nothing. You get this quite often when you're dealing with like moving companies, and when people are doing door-to-door work. Hey, normally I'd get this much commission, but I'll take this much because I absolutely need to sell this product. But by doing it, what you're doing is making someone feel human. It's not just a product, it's a person. We're in conversation with this. It humanizes you to your customers, and customers feel like they can have more of an honest conversation with you about it because of that. Number 3, offer an incentive for referrals. How does offering an incentive for referrals actually reduce buyer's remorse? Because it helps the person really evaluate the value of the product they are getting. And by evaluating the value of the product they are getting, it allows them to decide almost in advance that they're going to be proud of this because they're putting someone else's name out there with their name attached to it. It helps them overcome buyer's remorse. Number 4, offer a smaller or more inexpensive product initially to help build trust. This is called downselling, right? You don't want this, consider this. Once you get into it, we may move up to, right? Maybe you're not ready for 3 to 4 coaching sessions a month with me, but you are interested in twice a month, right? It's a way for you to test it out a little bit. So smaller, more inexpensive product, a downsell to help build trust. Number 5, offer a package deal. You can help overcome buyer's remorse by giving someone a package deal so they feel like they got more for their money. Oftentimes, it's not actually a great value, which is intriguing. If you look at the way they sell pots and pans, for example, one of the things they often sell are this huge selection of pots and pans, and we're going to throw in free spatulas and stuff with it, and all of the lids. The reality is most of us are only going to use 2 or 3 of those pots and pans. Half of us can't find where our lids went, and the spatulas we probably already had anyway. But the company would rather sell you the package. You feel like you're getting a great value, right? Because you feel like you got $1,000 worth of stuff for a couple of hundred, and the company was able to move more product. It helps everybody feel better about what's going on. So offering a package deal can be a way to help reduce buyer's remorse. Number 6, offer a reduced fee for the first purchase if they commit to future purchases, right? You see this quite often. Hey, the first month or the first 6 months is free, or it's only $19.99. It's going to go to $7,000 next month, but the first month is only $19.99. And it makes people feel like, well, even if I pay that fee next month, I still get a pretty good deal. It reduces buyer's remorse. So offer a reduced fee for the first purchase with a commitment for future purchases. Number 7, offer extra incentives, longer warranties, free bonuses if you order by a certain date, a lower price if you order by now, but if you wait till here, you don't. And so people will oftentimes feel better about at least they paid a little bit less for it. Now, I'm not a huge fan of always convincing people to pay less, but it is one way to build longer relationships. Number 8, how to reduce buyer's remorse. Offer financing options, if applicable. Is there a way that they can finance this so they don't have to pay all of that money at one time, but they can be billed on it over a period of time? It's really interesting to me lately how you're beginning to see this online, even for small purchases. It might only be $100 purchase, but all of a sudden you're seeing you can make 4 installments of $25 a piece. This is going on all the time. People are figuring out a way to offer financing, and it helps reduce buyer's remorse because I only paid $25 for this $100 item, even if I did it every month. The number 9 way to reduce buyer's remorse: offer a bonus if they pay in full. If they pay in full, like upfront cost, if it's a more expensive item, offer an additional bonus. Example of that is if you want to do a 40-point deep dive into your company, that I'll do that. It takes about half a day. I'll do that. I'll go back. I'll review the information. I'm going to put together a report along with an implementation plan for that, right? That's there, but there is a cost with that. However, if you commit to the annual fee rather than a monthly fee for my coaching, I'll waive that cost and even maybe take a month or 2 off of the annual fee. So there's a benefit in doing it that way. It helps reduce buyer's remorse. The number 10 way to help your prospects become customers with less buyer's remorse is offer special packaging or delivery options. Special packaging or delivery options so that they feel like they're getting more of a personal service. It might be that just the way in which you put it together. You put it in a basket for them. Or it might be the fact you're willing to get it to their house or whatever that may be. You figure that out for you, but offering that makes you feel like if I paid the same price here as I did here, or even if I paid a little bit more with your company than the other company that was available, but you were going to deliver it, people will pay for that. Look at the impact of things like Grubhub and DoorDash. Number 11 way to help reduce buyer's remorse: offer name your own price incentives. So I'm beginning to see this online more and more lately, where people will put up almost an auction, is what they're calling it, or a name your own price, tell us what you'll pay, whatever it might be, right? It's the, or best offer type idea. And it's where they put a product on their website and they say, you tell us what you think is fair to pay for this. And they've just got it built into their algorithm that as long as the offer is above this amount, then we're good. And the reason why that's a benefit is because they feel like they got a good price because they're the ones who put in the price. And as long as you made more than this, you made money too. Name your own price incentives help reduce buyer's remorse. Number 12 way to reduce buyer's remorse: offer comparative data or other comparison tools. I recently bought a car, and the company I bought the car from set down in front of me, here's this same car within a year or two, but the same model, within about a 50-mile radius of this car dealership, and the information on those cars, the mileage, this, that, and the other, and the price. So they could show that the price we were getting was a better price, or that our vehicle had less mileage than the other vehicles did, or this one had this feature versus the other. That comparison tool made it feel more honest. Now, for all I know, they were telling me the truth, but they could have easily hidden 3 other dealerships that had better deals. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that when they pull theirs out, theirs is always the best deal because that's how that works. But it does reduce buyer's remorse to feel like you came out ahead. Number 13 way to help reduce buyer's remorse: offer a trade up or upgrade to something that they may already have. So your phone companies do this all the time. Bring in your old phone, we'll give you the new one, right? Then they're going to turn around, refurbish, and sell the old one. But it is a way to get people to come in and feel like they're paying less, or they're getting the newest, latest thing. Lots of different ways to do this. Potentially a way you can do is to say, hey, when you buy this product, we're going to call you back in about a year and a half. If you turn it in, we'll give you credit back for it and show you the latest model. Simple way to do that. It reduces buyer's remorse because it feels less long term. Number 14 way to reduce buyer's remorse: offer additional educational information to assist them in making the decision. So this can happen through things like drip campaigns. This can happen through flyers and handouts. It can happen through training your sales staff to be able to say, here's how we're going to teach you to do it, or offer them the opportunity when you buy this, you get to take part in. Maybe you can pay extra for us to come set it up so that you know it works, or there may be an online class or an online video that exists to help them know how to use the product. Those sort of things help people feel like they're making a better decision. So when you're dealing with buyer's remorse for your potential customers, the options are pretty limitless depending upon your own creativity. Use these ideas, use other ideas. If you've got a great idea, put it in the comments so that we know what those are. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is if you can make inviting, easy, informative, non-threatening, educational, inspiring, fun environments for people to do business, you do something that most businesses don't. That's a variation of a quote from a guy named Jay Abraham. If you need help figuring out the best strategy for you, how to make an impact for your customers, help reduce buyer's remorse, reach out to me, Brian, at gormancoaching.com, or go to gormancoaching.com, get some of the free resources there, and let's talk about how we can do that together. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.